Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marati.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
AEW Rampage started early this week because of the NBA All-Star Game. SmackDown is in the can. We're an hour early. It's a 10 p.m. Fabulous Fridays.
Wrestling fans, the winter heats up with the return of the Berzerker John Nord. The WWE legend will be back for Wrestling Insider tapings, live episodes, watch-alongs, and cyber autograph signings beginning Sunday, February the 20th. Check out Boston Wrestling's exclusive print that the Berzerker will sign for you live on air. Get ready for 3 big days of the Berzerker John Nord. Head on over to bostonwrestling.com for complete information. Wrestling fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night. Wrestling fans, VIP packages and tickets are on sale now. The Boston Wrestling MWF's Back to the 80s live wrestling event and Legends Fan Fest celebration, Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Meet WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, 3-time WWE Tag Team Champions Axe and Smash Demolition, WWE Hall of Famer Tito Santana, the Wild Berzerker, Dangerous Danny Davis, and more 80s icons to be announced. Take part in a VIP exclusive Q&A session, a VIP exclusive 80s Legends group photo, an autograph photo fan fest open to all before the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow light up the ring like Times Square on New Year's Eve. Relive your childhood. Get the best seats in the house now at bostonwrestling.com. We'll see you live April the 16th.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, Dan Marati here along with John Cena Sr. Johnny, happy to have you back from your latest trip around. Where was the latest trip to?
I went to Japan, China, and South America.
Now, they let you into China.
No problem.
Real? Well, when they get the money that you
Looking
have.
for talent, always. China.
You were looking for talent in China?
Yep, there's some good wrestlers in China.
Well, you and if Triple H was around, I was going to say the two of you might be in competition with each other, but...
Poor Triple H.
Well, we can only hope that Triple H is back in his regular position sooner than later, feeling better than ever.
I don't think he'll be back in his regular position, but he'll be back.
Well, hopefully he'll be feeling better than ever, no matter what he chooses
Please,
to
God,
do.
he's a great human being.
Interesting weekend, Johnny. Tomorrow, I don't know if you're going to be flying over after tonight's episode, but Elimination Chamber will be emanating live from the Kingdom of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I don't know if you've ever made it there in your travels. Have you ever been to Jeddah to chat with the prince?
Jet fuel is expensive.
Yeah.
That's the last place I'm going to go.
You and Billy Goldberg could take the private plane over together.
Silly Goldberg.
Well, Johnny, I mean, so much has broken since the last time we taped here in the studio. I think the fans know we taped multiple episodes. I don't even know what the biggest news of them all is. I do want to stress, to get the cheap plugs out of the way, that this Sunday and Monday, the Berzerker is going to be having special live episodes with us. Head on over to the YouTube page and bostonwrestling.com. He's going to be doing live cyber autograph signings where you can meet and greet the Berzerker virtually. We had a beautiful print made up in 8x10 and 11x14 sizes.
Why don't you show those?
Maybe we'll have to get them out.
Howard Miller can get those for us.
That's why he's the best, baby.
There you go.
We're going to have a lot of fun. Hopefully you can pop down, no pun intended, with the Fabo Pop. He is anxious to meet you.
I am anxious to meet him.
Well, he's a good man. I have a lot of respect for the Berzerker. That his career speaks for itself. We also want to send out best wishes to our good friend, the man that's been rocking since he came out of the womb, Marty Jannetty, had a hospital visit. Nothing life-threatening, thank God. But you know what? He's on the mend. I'm excited about his return to MWF Studios. I don't know if it's going to be late winter, early spring at this point, depending upon how he recoups. But Party with Marty Season 2 is coming back. Batten down the hatches, put the women and children to bed.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
All right. Johnny, what I considered long term, I don't know if this is the biggest news, but the biggest news of them all is it's looking like either Saturday, April the 2nd, Sunday, April the 3rd, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, where they haven't been able to sell either 50,000 tickets to either night, never mind 102,000. We're going to have, for the first time in 19 years, the in-ring return of Stone Cold Steve Austin in what I have to consider kind of an underwhelming match against Kevin Owens.
Well, I have no indication that's been confirmed yet. There's a lot of rumors out there, a lot of people talking about it. I'm going to tell you something. Nothing against my friend Kevin Owens. I really like Owens. I think he's a good technician. I don't think Austin will make his last match against Kevin Owens. Because really and truly, the general consensus or the feeling that I'm getting is it's not a WrestleMania, but it's a passing of the torch event. I don't believe in this passing of the torch. Everybody says, oh, it's part of the business. All right, it's part of the business. I just think that new people come along, new people deserve that shot. They either make it or they don't, and that's the way it is. We all retire, we all get old, and we move on. So there's no passing of the torch. You know what? Hogan was better than Andre in terms of the draw. Andre was getting sicker. They needed a way to put Hogan over, to put him in Andre's place. Andre knew it. Hogan knew it. End of story.
Well, Hogan was already the champion for over
right.
3 years
But
at that point,
that's right.
So it's not like he was a Johnny up-and-comer.
Right. So, this thing with Austin and Owens, I've had, maybe you've got an inside story.
Well, what's funny is, I don't know if it was this show or on Oscars, but I was told by someone in the higher up in the food chain by WWE, they were working on a big concept for Austin for WrestleMania. I had no idea they meant it was going to be an actual match. I thought maybe guest referee, he was maybe going to be the host. I wasn't expecting wrestling match, and then when that news broke, I said, wow, they weren't lying when they said they were working on something big for him.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be a Kevin Owens. If Austin does do a match, it's going to be a 5-minute match. It's going to be a squash. It's going to be Cena and Taker. It's going to be, he's going to come in, Owens is going to do his bing, bing, bing stuff. Austin's going to give him a hell no and give him a stunner. It's over and done with. The crowd will go nuts, and it's finished and through, and that match will get written up the same way Cena's was. It should have been longer. It could have been better. And you know what?
But the longer it goes, the...
Stone Cold Steve Austin is in a very good place right now. He doesn't need this match. You know what the situation is? WWE needs this match.
Desperately.
Because WrestleMania sucks. Take a look at the card. I don't care. Vince McMahon, I still love you, brother. But you take a look at what you're doing and where it's going. How many tickets have we sold? Are we doing a 2-for-1 deal now?
But they haven't sold 50
Well, are they doing a 2-for-1, which I just heard?
Not for Mania itself?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Well, guess what? They're not selling a whole lot, are they?
Well,
Because
I think
people
that's
are
going to
tired.
change. Because I tell you this, I think WrestleMania 32, when last time they were there, was in a better place ticket-wise. But when they announced, believe it or not, of all things, The Undertaker and Shane McMahon Hell in a Cell match where one of them was going to retire, whoever lost, cough, cough, that actually did move a great number of tickets. But again, this is 2 nights. They're looking to sell 204,000 seats.
You know what? First of all, the fans are not a fan of 2 nights. There are some that approve it. Well, I got to tell you.
I love it.
I talk to a lot of wrestling fans just like you do. And I'll tell you what, I might say it's 60-40. 60% say just get it over and done with. And
but one night is so long. I mean, look at what it turned into the past few years.
It's an event.
8 hours.
It's
too
an
much.
event. It's an event. That's what you go for. I know people that go to concerts.
When the crowd at WrestleMania is falling asleep at the end, that's not a good thing.
Look,
and it's not that it's due to the lack of action. It's due to the lack of they've been there for a half the day.
Look at the matches you've got for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Tell me which one you like.
Roman and Lesnar.
Oh, boy, been there, done that, seen that 1,000, God. How many times you going to do Lesnar?
Well, they have done an interesting job providing a fresh coat of paint to the feud. I do agree it has been done before.
Fresh coat of paint.
I love how the Paul Heyman is back with the tribal chief, which was a kind of a creative idea I threw out there that we saw come true.
Well, I think Heyman knew that all along. He probably wrote it.
I'm not. The original match I was told was going to be Rollins and Lashley. I don't know if that is still going to be on the docket for the Raw Championship. Austin and Owens.
That's not happening.
Well, here's the question. Is this going to be the only time we see Steve Austin, or would Steve Austin at 57 be open to coming back to a Billy Goldberg type deal, where maybe he works the kingdom of Jeddah?
Austin has a brain. And Austin is, but no, I'm saying this. He's a realist.
All right.
And when you talk to Steve Austin, he will say to you, I'm in a very good place. I've got my podcast, I got my TV show. I don't need professional wrestling.
But it's in his blood.
It's in everybody's blood. You know, it's like theater. I did a lot of theater. I'm still doing wrestling. Once you get that makeup on your face, it's automatic. It's in your blood. You can't get it out. But you know what, folks? There reaches a point in time where you can't do what you did. Is that stunner going to look good at 57 as it did at 32? No. Is he going to be able to move like he moved in his 40s at 57? No. Why humiliate yourself? Because, as DiBiase would say, my good friend Ted DiBiase, everybody's got a price. Well, if it's all about money, then that's fine. There's been no commitment on Austin's part yet. He needs to think this through. Remember what's hanging in the background here. One wrong move, and the man's crippled for life.
You don't see a pop-up powerbomb coming his way.
One wrong move, and that man is crippled for life. Do you want to put that on the line? Is it worth $3-4 million to end up like Draws?
Well, I was told that, and this is many, many moons ago, they tried to bring him in for WrestleMania 30 to make it really special. And they wanted him to work Triple H, which he wasn't exactly excited about. And he thought it was only fair, considering his place in the history of the industry. He wanted Rock money, and they wouldn't give him the Rock money.
Guess
so
what?
he said, you know what? Did we see him wrestle?
Nope. And you know what?
So he stuck to his guns. I respect him for that.
And I'm going to tell you something. Dwayne Johnson is not worth the money they're paying him. In a lot of cases, he's not. But he's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Steve Austin is Stone Cold Steve Austin. I put them on an equal plane.
Oh, I think Austin's is
Better.
to wrestling fans. I
Better.
think Austin is the biggest
Right,
star.
so why
Worldwide,
not-
of course, The Rock from the movies is the biggest star.
Yeah, so
but-
if Dwayne can walk in and get $60 million for getting in the middle of the ring, saying, if you smell what The Rock, who cares? You can't even cook. So you know what? Give Austin the dough. Give him the dough. 60 million for him, 60 million for him. You know what?
60 million?
I don't. I'm just
Oh.
using a number. So my whole thing is, if I were Austin, and I'm not, I would really sit down, and I'm sure he has, and think it through. Think the positives and the negatives. He's got a lot going for him. He's finally reached a place in life where he's happy. He's got all that he needs. He doesn't have to do this. Nothing against Kevin Owens. I've been in the ring, and I've had 3 ribs fractured because the other guy wasn't careful. My knee, my ankle, thumb, head. You know what? It's unintentional, but it's a rough sport. It happens. His neck and spine are very sensitive. Would you put that on the line to sit in a wheelchair the rest of your life and say, I did WrestleMania?
Well,
Yeah.
the internet lore says he's had a ring at his house now for the better part of a half a year, and he's been getting himself into pretty good ring shape. I'll say this, if you wanted to talk about someone smooth that was a big name to put him in there with, that is, as far as we know, unaccounted for. It's not like we're in the WWE booking meetings. I think maybe a great opponent for him would have been Randy Orton.
Absolutely.
I know he can be a little stiff when he wants to lay it in, but that's a different story for a different time.
A little?
He can also be very smooth, and I think he'd be very safe. He's a new man since the days Austin was last around as a general manager in 03 and 04, and I think it'd be a much more interesting match to the fans
But
than
you don't have
Owens
to put
and Austin.
Orton over.
No.
The guy that wrestles Austin is somebody that needs to reach the top. Somebody they believe has got the Why not throw him in there with friggin' Roman Reigns?
I think that would be great.
Yeah. Forget this Brock We know the outcome already. Why do I want to watch it?
I don't know what the outcome is going to be. You know what the end of... Are you talking about Austin and Owens or Reigns and Lesnar?
Reigns and Lesnar.
What's the finish?
Who's going to go over?
I don't know.
Do you think for 1 minute Reigns is going to lose?
I know they're both slated to be competing at WrestleMania Backlash in Providence on Sunday, May the 8th.
Oh.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But do you think, though, this might not be it for Stone Cold? Do you think maybe, like Goldberg, we could see him once or twice a year on big shows?
I think if I was Austin, I'd keep the ring at my house and open up the or whoop-ass wrestling school, make myself some money that way. I guess I'm kind of a cautious person. If I had the situation that Bryan Danielson has, Stone Cold Steve Austin has, Nikki Bella has. Yeah, but you know what? Let's give them all. I would think twice before looking at the dollar bills versus maybe it's 1 in a million chances it could happen of that happening to me. And I think of poor Drods. Yep. So do you want to be in that position for a lousy $6 million, $5 million, $7 million? It just doesn't make sense.
Well, he has also said for several years that he feels like he could go for a couple of years.
You know what? I'm going to tell you this.
He knows his body better than we do.
I will. But I'll tell you this.
All right.
Everybody thinks they know their body because the way they feel. I had a friend that was 52 years old, perfect health, diet, ran every day, dropped dead running. So you know what? You don't know. You don't know what's on the inside. So don't take the chance. At 57, bones get more fragile. At 57, you can't last as long as you used to. Why do I manage more than wrestle?
Well, I mean, I think we both know WWE, I'm sure, has sent him to Dr. Maroon in Pittsburgh to pass the physicals and to make sure that he's physically able to go at 100% capacity. How many years do you think you have left? You two are about the same age.
You know what? My feeling is this.
You got a couple of years on him.
But what do? I get in the ring. I'm either a face or a heel. I might take a bump here and there. When's the last time you saw me wrestle?
Well, it's a good point. Fair enough. Fans, what do you think? If you're watching on Friday nights, in the Premier Chat, share your thoughts on what you'd like to see Steve Austin do at WrestleMania 38 in Dallas. Would you like to see Steve Austin at WrestleMania, or do you think maybe Steve Austin should just come up and appear in a non-wrestling role? We're always interested in your thoughts. If you're not watching with us during the premiere, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Right now, we're going to take a brief time out as we implore you to head on over to BostonWrestling.com, pick up those VIP packages and tickets for our Back to the 80s extravaganza at Memorial Hall on April the 16th. And like we said, this weekend, the Berzerker is coming to town. Forget about Santa Claus.
Wrestling fans, VIP packages and tickets are on sale now to Boston Wrestling MWF's Back to the 80s live wrestling event and Legends Fan Fest, Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Get the best seats in the house now at bostonwrestling.com. The World Wrestling Federation was live at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden in New York, New York, Friday, February the 18th, 1983. In the opening contest, Jose Estrada beat Kurt Hennig. Johnny Rodz with the win over Baron Mikel Cicluna. Mr. Fuji defeated Tony Gurria. Big John Studd victorious over WWF Tag Team Champion Jules Strongbow. Crippler Ray Stevens beat WWF Tag Team Champion Chief Jay Strongbow. WWF Intercontinental Champion Don Morocco with the win over WWF World Champion Bob Backlund via disqualification. Rocky Johnson defeated superstar Billy Graham via countout. Andre the Giant and Superfly Jimmy Snuka victorious over the Wild Samoans. Eddie Gilbert beat Charlie Fulton. Salvatore Balomo with the win over Sweet Hansen. And Pedro Morales defeated Buddy Rose. If you were at MSG Live, share your memories in the comment section below. Keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our renowned Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Wrestling fans, the winter heats up with the return of the Berzerker John Nord. The WWE legend will be back for Wrestling Insider tapings, live episodes, watch-alongs, and cyber autograph signings beginning Sunday, February the 20th. Check out Boston Wrestling's exclusive print that the Berzerker will sign for you live on air. Get ready for 3 big days of the Berzerker John Nord. Head on over to bostonwrestling.com for complete information. Wrestling fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night. At Night of Champions 2020, Tribal Chief Roman Reigns successfully defended the WWE Universal Championship against his cousin, Jey Uso, in a must-see battle. Here is your chance to own a piece of Roman Reigns' moments before battle on this beautiful limited edition autographed 11x14 poster direct from friends at WWE. It's number 19 of only 50 made. Includes WWE authentication hologram on the poster itself, suitable for framing and matting. You'll also receive a bonus Legends autographed 8x10 photo in an on-air shout-out on Wrestling Insiders as our thanks for helping keep Wrestling Legends working. Get this ultra-rare Roman Reigns autograph poster now.
Wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders. Dan Marotti along with Elizabeth Hubbard and Linda Dano's favorite beau, Mr. John Cena Sr. Now, did you have a chance to watch the episode? Because I inserted pictures of these women.
No.
Oh, well, maybe it would have reminded you of your glory days back in the early 70s, pre-marriage and fatherhood.
I was married in the 70s.
Early 70s, maybe.
How early is early?
I don't know, Johnny. They didn't exactly give me a diary of their escapades
I need
with
to
you.
seen it. You have it? I'll look at it before I go.
Or I'll send you the link and you can
All
look
right.
it up.
Yeah. In terms of
These torrid situations you
I
had
love
with
it.
these soap opera stars.
See, but no TV calls, no wrestling calls. You know, I'll tell you what my thought. The biggest story
About Linda Dano?
The biggest story so far is not Austin. It's
So you do think this is a bigger? See, long term, I think maybe this is a bigger story than
no.
Austin.
I think Vince McMahon canning his own son. That, my friend, needs a lot of analyzing, because I think it's a work. I really do.
Oh. They did a good job working people then.
But that's all right. And maybe that's what they're doing. If that is true, then it's the son taking the fall for the father, who basically booked it, and the son screwing it up by rebooking it. So that's what I heard. And I don't know how true that is. I wasn't there. I can't blame anybody. Remember,
I don't know if rebooking is the way I would word it. More is so he was trying to have too much of the match centered around him until Lesnar came out at the very, very end. And I don't know. You know, I think Shane McMahon is his own worst enemy as far as what he works in. I mean, he's in tremendous shape from the MMA training that he does and so on and so forth. And what does he do? He wrestles in a baseball jersey in gym pants. You would have no idea that he's in the great physical. It'd be like your son if worked like that his entire career without showing off his, tremendous body from all the working out and diet and disciplining that he does. Shane shoots himself in the foot because I think if he showed off that physique, maybe he'd have more credibility with the fans. I think the fans are happy to see him. Do they believe him as a credible opponent for top main event talent? No, I do not. No, I do not.
I think part of the reason that the character is designed that way is because he's the son of the chairman of the board. And so you have to wear that kind of an outfit to go like, I'm really not a pro, but I think I am. And I think it goes
Vince
over well.
had no problem showing off his body.
Who's that?
Vince had no problem showing off his body.
That man is in. Have you seen the latest pictures of that guy? They did of Vince when he
It's probably
turned.
been a couple of years.
Well, they just did something on his last birthday. That man is in awesome physical condition. Whether he's had face work done or not, I don't know. It looks like there might be a little Botox there. And I'm just kidding, Vince, please.
Little
But I can kid.
Caesar Romero action going on?
We'll
or-
see. But I think that's the biggest story, when a father fires his own son.
But here's the thing. Who has acknowledged that he has been fired? This could very well be a situation where he remains under contract and continues to be paid as a talent, and they just don't use him. I was told he didn't make any, for someone that's genuinely, usually well-liked, did not make himself any friends the day of that event.
And I heard the same
To
thing.
the point where he had to be told, we don't need you for Raw or anything else going forward. He was supposed to be in the main event tomorrow in Jeddah, in the Elimination Chamber. I thought an interesting match for WrestleMania, and I was wrong, would have been where Vince is trying to groom Austin Theory now in his office every week. Shane being maybe a little jealous, or Shane may be saying, you know what, I'm going to show him a thing or two, or maybe Austin Theory jumping the gun, trying to prove to Vince that he wants to take that Sunly-like role from Shane, and those two going at it at WrestleMania, but apparently it was an even bigger match than that. And you know what, I don't think Shane McMahon needs to be up that high on the totem pole on the card. I don't think the fans care that much, to be honest.
Well,
nothing against him.
He's been out of the picture for a long time. And,
Not that long.
But he's been out for a while. Remember, he left the company. He sold a ton of his stock.
from 2009 to 2016, he was gone.
Yeah,
right,
that's a
right.
long time to be gone.
But he's had a nice
7 years.
plum talent contract since 5 years, 6 years now, since
But he's the-
February of 2016.
Him and Stephanie are the heir apparent. So,
Well, one of them is. And I think that's why he left in 2009.
Well, here's what I have to say. You know what? Shane, first of all, he has a wonderful wife. He's got a great family. He's got his head screwed on straight.
Maybe not that day.
Well, but does he need it? Does he need it?
Well,
I
does he
feel-
need it? But why was he trying to build one of the
Around
biggest matches
himself.
of the year, everything around him?
You know what? That's sad. When you stop believing your own shit, you're in trouble.
I mean, again, tremendous physical condition, but
Oh,
he's
he's great.
a 53-year-old man that's never been a regular. I just don't think I think the fans like to see him. I think they like to see him in moderation. I think they like to see him in that role almost like semi-manager, semi-wrestler, not an in-ring badass superstar.
Well, perhaps his intent was, and I know that in this business, good guy, bad guy, it's always the bad guy looking like he's going to go over, the good guy is being squashed, and then you have the comeback. So you get Shane O'Mac, he's going over, Lesnar's the last guy out. You mean to tell me this is the guy that's going against Roman Reigns? Everybody knew. I mean, I didn't even watch the show. And then I looked at some of the clips and I said, okay, more BS. That, first of all, was a bad move on his part. Never Lesnar and Shane McMahon. Never.
Well, I tell you this. You talk about the what is it called? The 7 Shades of Kevin Bacon or whatever, the 7 whatever to Kevin Bacon. The reason why we have had Billy Goldberg since 2016 was, if you recall, I think we mentioned it on a recent episode, where Lesnar busted open Randy Orton Hardway like he was a pumpkin on Halloween.
Yes, he did.
Who did the run-in to save Randy Orton was Shane O'Mac. And they wanted to build Shane O'Mac against Lesnar at WrestleMania. And that's when Paul Heyman saw the reaction that Goldberg got to being involved in the video game that year. He was able to use his charm, we'll call it, and talk Goldberg into working Lesnar, which worked out at that point early on very good. I just think the Goldberg experiment got a little stale, but that's one man's opinion. But early on, those Goldberg and Lesnar matches, there were a lot of interest in them.
All the way to Saudi Arabia to watch Goldberg lose.
What?
They're going to have the match in Arabia, right?
Oh, you talking about Roman and Goldberg?
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the way over there to watch Goldberg lose.
Well, what? Do you want him to go over
Do
on
you-
Roman?
Who?
Billy Goldberg?
You know what I'd like to see?
What?
I'd like to see Paul Heyman go in and pin them both.
You've had enough of Roman again.
You know what? I have nothing but great words for Paul Heyman. I think if young men and young women are looking to be managers today, there's a man they need to look up to. He is the epitome of what a real good wrestling manager should be. Vicky Guerrero, another one you should look up to. Bobby the Brain Heenan. You know, Paul Heyman, people underestimate this man. I have nothing but good words for him. And I'll say it to his face because I have. I think that much of him. But I think now this tribal stuff, you know, if anything's going to happen over there, it's going to be Roman Reigns in trouble, the Usos and Heyman coming in. Been there, done it, seen it before. Goldberg gets pinned. We see it on the floor. Just remember it's one time more. So what do you say? It could be Pania. Holy God, just wait till WrestleMania. It's going to be Roman against you-know-who, Brock Lesnar. Now, who's going to kill who? I'm really not sure, and I don't know why. But let me take it from me, folks. A WrestleMania ticket, I'm not going to buy.
Well, let me ask you this, Johnny. In the final pay-per-view before coronavirus hit, did you ever expect Billy Goldberg to defeat The Fiend for the championship?
WWE.
Did you ever expect that finish?
WWE has made a million mistakes. And I'm telling you right now, that was mistake one, and mistake two was when they let The Fiend go.
Well, and that's just with The Fiend.
Goldberg, and again, I said it 1,000 times on this show, I'll say it again. I would not want to meet that guy in an alley for a street fight. He would absolutely kick my ass from one side of the building to the other. He still has it. He's still got it. People go because, you know, Bill Goldberg is a once-in-a-while draw. It's somebody you want to see once in a while. You can't put him in these positions against Roman Reigns versus Bill Goldberg. You don't have to be an idiot. My 8-year-old granddaughter said to me, Papa, Ashlyn, she goes, Papa, looks like Bill Goldberg's going to lose again. Yeah, well, guess what? If she's wrong, I'll put a $100 bill on the table.
What if they went the route of Austin and Goldberg? The dream match, 25 years in the making?
That's like Betty Crockett turning into Duncan Hines. It just doesn't work.
Well, I tell you this. You want to know who would be a good opponent for Billy Goldberg? Who would be perfect? Shane McMahon. Let Shane go out there and take big bumps for him, make Bill Goldberg look like $1 million for 5 minutes, jackham a spear, good night. Shane McMahon isn't hurt by it. He's still over. Goldberg goes out a hero. Everybody's happy.
I think Goldberg got back into the wrestling business because of his son. His son is a great athlete. He's going to take after his father. This guy's got nothing but... I would rather see, truly I would rather see, Goldberg tag up with his son.
Against maybe the Mysterios?
Anything. Get a great tag team match and really put Goldberg and his son over. I think that's where it belongs now. If you talk about passing the torch, Bill Goldberg, it's time to pass the torch from you to your son. Make him the hero like Rey Mysterio is doing with his son. That's what needs to happen now. Forget this stuff where you can't, he blows up. He can't do it. Nothing against him. Again, I'm telling you, age. Austin can feel great. Goldberg can feel great. I used to run 10 miles. I'm lucky if I can walk one. I'm being wise. But think about it before you do it. Stop looking like the person you used to be that you really aren't.
All right, well, as we wrap up this segment, we got the signal from Howard Miller, Johnny. I got to ask,
Yep.
when or if do you think we see Shane McMahon as a television personality again in WWE?
Never.
You think we'll never see him again? With that company that's lacking star power, I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be next year, but I have a feeling, what did Frosty say at the end? I'll say goodbye, but don't you cry. I'll be back again someday.
You never cross the chairman of the board. Take it from me.
All right, wrestling fans, again, if you're watching Friday night on the premiere, what do you think about the Shane O'Mac controversy. If you're not watching with us during the premiere, leave your thoughts in the comment section below right now. Don't delay. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com. The Berserker is going to be with us live this weekend, Sunday and Monday. And I'm telling you, Johnny, we're just a hair over 8 weeks away until we go back to the 80s at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Saturday night, April the 16th, for a wrestling celebration, decades in the making. Get your VIP packages and tickets now at BostonWrestling.com.
Wrestling fans, VIP packages and tickets are on sale now to Boston Wrestling MWF's Back to the 80s live wrestling event and Legends Fan Fest, Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Get the best seats in the house now at BostonWrestling.com. The World Wrestling Federation was live at the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago, Illinois, Friday, February the 18th, 1994. In the opening contest, Owen Hart beat Jim Powers. WWF Tag Team Champions, the Quebecers, retained the titles over the Smokin' Guns. WWF Women's Champion Alundra Blaze retained the title over Heidi Lee Morgan. Bret Hitman Hart victorious over IRS. WWF World Champion Yokozuna retained the title over Tatanka. Jeff Jarrett defeated Bob Backlund. Macho Man Randy Savage and Lex Luger with the win over Crush and Quang. And WWF Intercontinental Champion Razor Ramon retained the title over Shawn Michaels. If you're in Chicago live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our acclaimed Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out.
It hits different live as the road to WrestleMania comes through State College with the head of the table, Roman Reigns. And a new challenger has emerged to dethrone the Queen.
Face me and put your title on the line.
As Naomi battles Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It's the WWE Road to WrestleMania Tour, live in State College, March 26th. Tickets and Superstar Experience packages on sale now.
Wrestling fans, VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at the Boston Wrestling MWF's Back to the 80s live wrestling event and Legends Fan Fest celebration, Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Meet WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, three-time WWE Tag Team Champions Axe and Smash Demolition, WWE Hall of Famer Tito Santana, the Wild Berzerker, Dangerous Danny Davis, and more 80s icons to be announced. Take part in a VIP exclusive Q&A session, a VIP exclusive 80s Legends group photo, an autograph photo fan fest open to all before the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow light up the ring like Times Square on New Year's Eve. Relive your childhood. Get the best seats in the house now at BostonWrestling.com. We'll see you live April the 16th.
Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marotti.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It's all over BostonWrestling.com and our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now available on eBay. You can add this to your collection. Support Wrestling Insiders and keep Wrestling Legends working on eBay. Get this WWE NXT TakeOver War Games 2020 11x14 limited edition autograph poster signed by everyone on the event. Number 23 of only 100 made. Includes signatures from the Undisputed Era, Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Tommaso Ciampa, Timothy Thatcher, Io Shirai, Tony Storm, Rhea Ripley, Dexter, Loomis, and more. Comes with authentication hologram on the back of the poster. Also comes with mystery autographed 8x10 and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insider Fabulous Fridays. We got Stone Cold coming back. We got Shane O'Mac on the way out. We got a guy now we could talk about. He was on his way out, and I think he's on his way in, just different promotions. Cody Rhodes, the former Stardust, out at AEW, and one of those rare occasions where Tony Khan, well, I don't know if it was Tony himself, but AEW, Cody Rhodes, and Brandi Rhodes all made public remarks about it on social media. Public statements, thanking each other. Love fest almost.
I wonder if that's a work. First of all, I believe, kiddingly, I got a text from you that said, Rhodes back to WWE.
Yeah.
Worst mistake of his life.
Why?
Because Vince will take him back, give him the money, write him the contract, and never use him. He'll take him out of professional wrestling.
No.
Now, let me tell you, see, I got to tell you something. When he left, he didn't leave on good terms. He had quite a few battles with Vince over name, over different things.
He just didn't want to be Stardust anymore.
I agree, but then he had a thing with his dad.
Well, that
Melrose
happened
assault.
after he
Right,
left.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, maybe I'll bring him back to WWE, give him some money, give his wife some money.
Oh.
Well, she can't wrestle.
She's the Bella 2.0 as far as
She's a good manager, but
no, she contributes nothing.
Okay, you heard that from him.
I mean, and I have no problem. She might be a delightful human being, but she contributes absolutely zero and nothing to a professional wrestling broadcast,
Well.
whether it be wrestling, ring announcing, managing, anything.
I remember Cody Rhodes. He saved me from Randy Orton.
Now, Cody Rhodes, I think, is a world-class talent, and they both might be nice human beings. I'm not talking about
Cody's a hell
the
of a guy.
human being
Hell of a
side
guy.
about it. I'm talking about the talent side of it. Cody Rhodes, to me, is $1 million talent. The wife, I wouldn't book at Memorial Hall unless she could handle Piggott.
My thing is, how do you bring this man back into the fold where he did so much in 4 years to help challenge and almost become a threat? How do you do that? How do you bring the enemy into the camp? Or let's flip the coin and say, I heard through the grapevine that Shane O'Mac is going to sign with AEW. Now, I'd rather believe the Shane O'Mac deal because he'll get in, sign with AEW, work a deal with Tony Khan, and WWE will own AEW.
No, I don't think Tony Khan would have any interest in
He's got
selling
money.
it. I don't think he's. I think he has so much money he doesn't care.
No.
I mean, he's doing this because he has a love for it and a passion for it. I don't think he'd
So
give
what
up
happens
his
if Jericho
baby.
goes now? What happens if Omega goes now?
Do you think really in this day and AEW early on, I think if it would be a significant blow, but where AEW has signed so many marquee talents over the past half year or so, do you think it really kills them that they lose Cody Rhodes?
Not really. And Cody really wasn't doing what he used to do for AEW. After he lost that title match, he hadn't been on TV for a while.
That was a tremendous ladder match. That
He
was
is
wild.
a great athlete.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I have nothing but good words. He was misused by the WWE. And that's why I'm saying to you.
One of the worst misuses in recent memory.
So if you bring him, if he's foolish enough to go back to WWE, maybe he is because of the money. All right. What do you think you're going to get out of this?
I'm sure if I'm Cody Rhodes, I'm going to have some assurances in place that I'm not going to be Stardust. I'm going to guess, and this is just a guess, that there was some kind of a agreement over the usage of the dad's image and likeness, being able to maybe be shared, if nothing else, by both him and the company, where that means an awful lot to him. WWE is, I hate to say it, but they're desperate. They look to the average fan's eyes, it looks like every talent wants out of WWE, or WWE is going to get rid of every talent. Here they have a chance to take a guy that was main eventing on the quote-unquote opposition, a guy that fans are very familiar with because he was on WWE television for the better part of 10 years. Whether how good or bad he was used is left to your own interpretation, but a guy that has found great success in that other company, a guy that shed gallons of blood for their entertainment and proved himself, I think, to show maybe a little bit, maybe more of a tougher side than he had ever shown in WWE, where he was allowed to have those wild steel cage matches where he'd do the moonsaults off the top of those very much higher than WWE size cages, where he bled buckets in certain grudge matches. I think Cody Rhodes has a lot of value. I think WWE is smart enough to know they need main event marquee talent right now, where both shows are so stale. I mean, Roman's running out of challenges on SmackDown. God only knows what the title picture is going to look like on Raw after WrestleMania. Would you save Cody for the day after WrestleMania, or would you bring him in for WrestleMania, where tickets sales are needed?
I'd bring him in for WrestleMania.
And what would you have him do?
Maybe it'd be Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes.
Well, Lesnar.
He hasn't faced him.
But Lesnar has already chosen his opponent as the Royal Rumble victor.
Yeah, well, that's, of course, but you can't change that. But you're asking me what I would do if I could do it.
Yeah.
That would have been my plan. Certainly.
All right, with what's on the table right now, what would you do with him?
It's kind of tough because it's already booked. Lashley would have been a good opponent. Anybody that he could get up against where he can show his style and profile.
I wouldn't want either one of them jobbing at WrestleMania.
Me neither. And I don't think it has to be a job.
Do you want to know who would have been a great opponent for,
Who's
for
that?
Cody? Would have been Shane O'Mac. Imagine Shane O'Mac coming out, Cody Rhodes' first promo. You think you're going to come back here after you walked out of this company and you had so much smack to say online, blah, 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 blah. You think you have a place here? Smacks him across the face. You don't have a place here. No one wants you here. Get the F out. And he says, you want a match, Mac? How about April 2nd or April 3rd at AT&T Stadium? I'll rip your baseball jersey off.
I wouldn't even do that.
What would you do?
I like where you're going, but I think I like the element of surprise. So Shane O'Mac is brought back to WWE, all things amended. However, the chairman of the board says everything has penance. So at WrestleMania, you will be on the card, and you will have a special opponent of my choosing.
What if they, and again, I don't believe the Shane McMahon issue to be a work, quote unquote. What if, per se it was, what if they did Shane's man versus Shane's man versus Vince's man, Cody against Austin Theory?
That would work.
That would really give Theory some rub to go over on Cody Rhodes.
Yep, that would
Cody
work.
would pay his penance for leaving by doing the job at WrestleMania.
Well, no, but McMahon's got to pay his penance, Shane O'Mac. Yeah. So there it is. Make it a three-way, which I know you don't like, but
no, you know I hate. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that there's so many scenarios there that we could come up with. The McMahon family is very tight. I'll tell you that. You just don't screw with the McMahon family. And so I think the reason all this came down with Shane O'Mac was because I believe it was Vince that booked the Royal Rumble. He's the one that had it all in place. I don't think it was appreciated, at least from what I hear or heard, the fact that all these guys were in place, ready to do their stuff, and in walks this young man and decides to change it from top to bottom. You just don't do that.
How bad does it look now in hindsight?
Horrible.
No, but listen. You don't even know where I'm going with this one.
All right, good.
That you have Owens on paper, in internet lore, ready to work Austin at WrestleMania in Austin's first match in 19 years, and Owens was eliminated in the Royal Rumble by Shane O'Mac.
See?
You know what I mean?
No, there's no thought.
It's not a good look.
There's no thought process here. And this is what I mean. I always say this, and I say it 1,000 times. When I was younger, in the religious world, in the political world, they'd say jump. You would then say how high. We're dealing with a new generation of people that say, hey, Dan, jump. Why? And this is what the fans of professional wrestling are saying to the WWE, but the WWE, for some reason, and I don't think it's all Vince, are saying, you can't see me? No. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. You need to hear them. There's your dollars. There's your bucks. They've made so much money on TV deals, going over to wrestle in Saudi Arabia. They don't need to be the best in the business. They've made their money. I'm telling you now.
The first year ever they grossed $1 billion was last year.
I'm telling you right now, they are set up in a good position to be bought.
Isn't it interesting, and I don't want to shy too far away from this. Maybe, you know what, I'm going to save that for another episode, but it's an interesting, I'm going to put it in here. But let me, another rumored match that I guess got a little bit of heat was Shane O'Mac was pushing for himself against John Cena with Vince handcuffed to you at ringside. Now, was there any truth to those rumors?
Yes, there is. That would have been the match of matches. However,
You and Vinnie Mac handcuffed to each other.
McMahon would kill me. There's no question about that. I am taking, let me tell you, I talk about Goldberg. I'll put the cards on the table with Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Don't screw with Vincent Kennedy McMahon. That man would pound the living shit out of me. It would be over and done with. Be no chance.
Do you think they let Bad Bunny do a little bit too much at the Royal Rumble?
Please.
I understand that Tony Khan was interested in using Quincy as Good Rabbit.
You know, I do this for you fans.
But anyway, at the end of the day, Cody Rhodes, please, all I can ask God, I'll contribute as a WWE stockholder. Don't bring the wife with him. Nobody wants to see her. It takes away from Cody's presentation. But you know, they love their reality shows and all the other shit that they do.
Yeah.
I'm worried that we're going to see her come out with them, and my eyes are going to vomit.
I would agree. I would agree with you. But at the same time.
Pretty lady, and she could be a wonderful human being. I don't want to knock, I want to separate the human being from the wrestling talent. I just don't think there's wrestling talent there. I hated her ring announcing. Her wrestling was horrendous. Her managerial talents were non-existent. Every angle they would come up with to try and throw her on, she was like the Deborah McMichael. I hate nothing against our friend Deborah, but when Deborah was trying to force herself down WWF's throat when I was in that picture back in 2001, driving Steve nuts, trying to attach herself at the hip to him, who certainly didn't need her when he was at his peak, but ... I'm afraid we could see Brandi, and I no. Maybe not as bad as seeing Bella, but pretty close.
Remember one thing. Professional wrestling, reality shows, everybody likes the good-looking woman. That's what it's there for, eye candy. Eye candy. And my whole thing is that, you know, she serves a purpose for the eye candy. She's a very attractive.
She's a very pretty lady.
Attractive
Very
young
pretty
lady.
lady. Yep.
Very good wife. They make a wonderful couple. I think that you're exactly right. You need to find where you fit in the business. Maybe not there, maybe here, but I think you're right. This kid has got a great future ahead of him. I mean this. Somewhere, somehow, he's going to be the face of a company. He already has been to an extent.
Do you think he could become either the Raw or SmackDown World Champion?
I would not doubt that for 1 minute.
Especially with the lack of depth that they have on those shows. I certainly think I would look at Cody's far more as a credible challenger and a more interesting challenger to Roman post-WrestleMania than Drew McIntyre.
Oh, I think, you know...
I wanted to give Drew a chance, but it
didn't work out.
It ain't there, baby.
Well, they're not using the guy. I mean, you know what? It's the same. Yeah. No. But remember, who does that? Who does it?
The drummers.
But who put that into place? Who put that?
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, WWE wrote the song. Yeah.
And
No, like I said, the problem with Drew was he got screwed because he should have never lost until fans were allowed back in venues again.
I agree.
To see what the organic reaction was as opposed to what are the fans saying online. That's how he got kind of screwed over. But I say this, he seems like a really nice guy. He's a nice guy the few times I've met him, but as far as him being a top guy or a main event guy in WWE, they've tried, and I just... upper card maybe, but not main event, not world champion.
They have nobody.
Agree, disagree?
I agree.
Okay.
They have nobody on that roster in either Raw or SmackDown that can be the face of that company.
Do you think Cody Rhodes helps the cause in the main event scene?
Yes, but they still have nobody. They thought it was Rollins. They thought it was Reigns.
Oh, Rollins is
but no,
gets worse by the
Here
week.
where I'm going with this, but I'm telling you what they thought. It's a failure. There is nobody there. So what I'm saying to you right now is it's just Raw and SmackDown. There is no, I got to go see Roman Reigns. I got to go see John Cena. I got to go see Austin or The Rock. Those were faces of the company. People paid good money. That's not there anymore. That's why you have this fan, casual fan. Oh, I want to see that match. There's no, oh, Austin's being there. I got to buy a ticket.
Well, he's going to generate a lot of interest from casual and lapsed fans, I'd say. So if I'm WWE, I better come up with a pretty kick-ass card to go around Steve Austin for the fans that are just going to tune in to see him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it can't be a Cena Taker match.
Yeah.
2.5 minutes doesn't work. It just doesn't. And even Taker wanted that to be longer. But you cannot do a 2.5 minute match, bring a legend in like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and if you do 2.5 minutes, you've taken a lifetime of what this man has built and flushed it down the toilet. You cannot do that to this man. You cannot do it to the wrestling business or to the fans or to his opponent.
All right, wrestling fans, you heard it from the fabulous one himself. What do you think about Cody Rhodes potentially returning to WWE? What about Brandi? If you're with us during the premiere chat, share your thoughts. If not, the description in the description box below. Leave your thoughts there. I'm really out of it, John. I don't know. I'm in a lot of CRPS pain today. I know, like I have to tell you with everything you've been through lately, but my God, the both of us, they're going to put us in a recycling bin at the end of this episode.
Nah,
But
we're coming back. Don't
big
worry about it.
episodes. What do you think of Stone Cold, Shane O'Mac, Cody, Brandi, and anything else in the world of wrestling? We want to talk with you. For John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Moratti. Don't forget, we're going to try and be back with the Elimination Chamber watch-along tomorrow at high noon from the Kingdom of Jeddah. The Berzerker will be with us live Sunday night and Monday night for cyber signings. And then the big one, again, we're counting down, Johnny, 8 weeks, one night away as we go back to the 80s. Memorial Hall, Melrose, Mass, April 16th. It's heating up in the ring, in the Fan Fest, behind the scenes, more than you know. For John Cena Sr., Linda Dano, and Elizabeth Hubbard's number one, Marjot Ouellette's number one in French? Ooh?
I don't know. I don't speak French.
Howard, do you speak French? No. Well, your number ooh.
It's medication, folks. It's
He's
medication.
number ooh to Marjot Ouellette. I'm Dan Moratti. We'll see you next Friday night after AE Rampage. Good night.
Hi, this is Phil DeCesare. Thank you for enjoying tonight's Wrestling Insiders. Get early full-screen ad-free access to all our weeknight Wrestling Insider episodes while helping keep wrestling legends working by joining the Boston Wrestling Patreon family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. You can directly help us bring you more great historical wrestling content 7 days a week to enjoy for years to come.